Dear friend, today I want to invite you to sit down with me, just like two old friends chatting on a quiet afternoon, and take a moment to reflect on something that might seem simple: food. But some foods don't just help us live healthier, they actually help us live longer, and with the kind of quality of life we all truly deserve. This isn't just hype or passing health trends. These are insights backed by decades of scientific research from nutritionists and geriatric experts all around the world. I remember one of my patients, her name was Eleanor, in her early 70s. She once told me something I've never forgotten. "Doctor, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of still being alive and no longer able to enjoy a good meal." Have you ever felt that way? Because honestly, eating isn't just about surviving. It's about enjoying, about connecting, and about keeping something alive inside of us. And that's why, over the years, I've spent more time listening, not just to my patients' stories, but to what the body itself is quietly trying to tell us. Give me what's fresh, what's real, what's nourishing. So today, I want to share with you 9 types of foods that scientists and I, from years of working with thousands of people over 50, truly believe can help you live longer, stay healthier, and feel more alive. I'm not talking about strict diets, magic pills, or trendy superfoods. I'm talking about simple, everyday foods you probably already have in your kitchen. Nuts, beans, fish, leafy greens, maybe a warm cup of tea in the morning. Simple things. But science has shown they can reduce inflammation, support heart health, sharpen memory, and boost your emotional well-being. I want you to imagine this for a moment. You're 85 years old. You're still holding hands with someone you love on your evening walk. You're still enjoying your food. You're still laughing at stories from the old days. That's not a fantasy. It starts with what you eat, starting today. Would you like me to walk you through each of those foods one by one? If yes, keep watching this video, and if you find it helpful, share it with someone you care about, because everyone deserves a chance to live long and live well in the most gentle way possible. 1. Nuts, like almonds, walnuts, pistachios. Can just one small handful of nuts a day really be a kind of natural longevity medicine? I once had a patient, George, 68 years old, who told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Doc, at my age, I'm not chasing fancy foods anymore. But every morning I treat myself to a few walnuts with my coffee. It makes me feel like I'm caring for myself in a gentle, thoughtful way." And you know what? He was absolutely right. Nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios are little gifts from nature. They're full of healthy, unsaturated fats that support your heart, plant-based protein to help maintain muscle as we age, and most importantly, antioxidants. These are your body's quiet protectors, fighting off the aging process at the cellular level. Large studies across Europe and the US have found that people who eat just a handful of nuts daily, only about 20 to 30 grams, have 20 to 30% lower risk of heart disease, and they often live longer than those who don't. But this isn't just about living longer. It's about living with a strong heart, a clear mind, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you're taking care of your body before illness makes that decision for you. If you haven't added nuts to your diet yet, I'd say start small. Maybe a few walnuts in the morning, or a handful of cashews in the afternoon. Take your time chewing them. Savor the taste, the subtle sweetness and richness, and let it be a gentle reminder. You're taking care of yourself. You're choosing love for your body and for your future. Do you already have a habit of eating nuts daily? What's your favorite kind? I'd really love to hear your story in the comments below. 2. Berries, like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. I want you to imagine this for a moment. It's morning. Soft sunlight is streaming through your kitchen window. On the table, there's a warm bowl of oatmeal, topped with a few fresh blueberries, a few juicy slices of strawberry, a gentle start to the day. But here's the amazing part. Inside those tiny berries are secrets to longevity and mental clarity. Berries, like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're not just pretty or tasty. They're quiet warriors protecting your body from aging day in and day out. Why? Because they're rich in anthocyanins, a natural compound that gives them their deep red and purple colors. These compounds fight inflammation, protect your heart and brain, and help slow down age-related memory decline. I once had a patient, Margaret, 74 years old, who always kept a box of blueberries in her fridge. She told me, "I call these little guys my living vitamins. They keep my brain from feeling foggy in the mornings." And honestly, she wasn't wrong. One long-term study from Harvard followed over 16,000 older women for years and found something remarkable. Those who ate berries regularly had sharper memory and better brain function, even well into their 70s. The best part? You don't need a lot. Just half a cup of berries a few times a week can make a real difference for your brain and your heart. You can toss them in yogurt, stir them into oatmeal, or simply enjoy them as a light dessert. And each time you eat them, remind yourself, this is a quiet gift to my future self, to protect my memory, my clarity, and the years still to come. Have you ever used berries in a special way? I'd love for you to share in the comments. And let's inspire each other to care for our health, one small berry at a time. 3. Legumes, like lentils, soybeans, black beans. When was the last time you made a pot of beans? I remember mine very clearly. It was on a rainy afternoon, and my mother, she was almost 80 then, put a pot of black beans on the stove and said to me, "Eating beans helps you live longer, but more than that, it reminds you to slow down." Back then, I was too young to understand what she meant. But after years of working with thousands of older patients, I finally got it. Beans, like lentils, black beans, and soybeans, are more than just budget-friendly staples. They're a key part of the diet in some of the longest-living communities in the world. They're packed with high-quality plant-based protein, low in saturated fat, and incredibly rich in soluble fiber, the kind that helps regulate blood sugar, lower bad cholesterol, and feed the good bacteria in your gut. Did you know? A long-term study in Japan, home to some of the highest numbers of centenarians, found that people who eat beans regularly had up to 8% lower risk of early death. And it doesn't have to be complicated. A warm bowl of lentil soup, a side of steamed edamame, even just a cup of warm soy milk in the morning. It can all make a difference. I had a patient named Tom, 72 years old, pre-diabetic. Instead of starting with medications, we started with food. He added black beans to his lunch, tofu to dinner. 3 months later, his blood sugar was stable, and he told me, "Doc, I just feel lighter, like I'm not fighting my body anymore." Eating beans isn't just about nutrients. It's a way of saying to your body, "I'm caring for you, naturally, patiently, and with love." Do you have a bean dish that brings you comfort? I'd love to hear about it. Who knows? Your story might inspire someone else to live just a little longer, and a lot better. 4. Fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, mackerel. I want you to picture this. A simple dinner. A piece of grilled salmon, crispy on the edges, tender inside, served with steamed veggies and just a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Nothing fancy, and yet that one meal could be protecting your heart and brain for years to come. Fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, are something I regularly recommend to my patients, especially those over 60. Why? The answer is simple. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, a type of healthy fat that your body can't produce on its own. And omega-3s go exactly where we need them most: the heart, the brain, and the nervous system. Some people have asked me, "Doc, I'm not young anymore. Isn't it too late to start?" And my answer is always the same. It's never too late to protect your brain and your heart. Studies from the American Heart Association show that eating fatty fish just twice a week can significantly lower your risk of stroke, heart attack, and even Alzheimer's disease, a condition that robs far too many older adults of their memories and their sense of self. I remember one of my patients, Linda. She was 69 at the time. She used to avoid fish because she thought it was too smelly, too tricky to cook. But after I showed her how to make a simple pan-seared salmon with lemon and dill, quick, tasty, and clean, she started eating fish every week. 3 months later, her cholesterol levels improved, and she told me, "I feel clearer in the mornings. My mind's not as foggy anymore." Eating fish isn't just something for fitness folks or the young and trendy. It's an act of care for your memory 5 years from now, for your clarity 10 years from now. And if fish hasn't been a regular part of your meals, maybe today is the perfect time to start again. Because your heart deserves to be cared for. And your mind, your memories, deserve to be preserved. Do you have a favorite fish recipe? I'd love for you to share it. Who knows? Your recipe might inspire someone else to take the first step toward a healthier life. 5. Green tea. Some mornings, I don't need much at all. Just a warm cup of green tea. Hands gently wrapped around the mug, a slow sip, and a quiet calm spreading through the mind. Have you ever had a moment like that? For me, green tea isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a way to pause, to reconnect, to gently return to myself. And the beautiful thing is, science agrees. Inside those tiny drops of green tea lies real healing power. Green tea is rich in catechins, a powerful group of antioxidants. They don't just protect your cells from damage. They also support healthy weight loss, boost your metabolism, and reduce the risk of certain cancers, especially those of the digestive system. I remember a patient of mine, Robert, 73 years old. He was skeptical at first. "Can tea really do anything, doc?" But after a few weeks of drinking 2 to 3 cups of green tea a day, he told me, "I feel lighter, I sleep better, and my mornings feel like I've carved out a little quiet space just for me." And that's the magic of green tea. It doesn't demand a big lifestyle change. It's gentle, slow, just like how it swirls in hot water. And little by little, your body begins to respond. Your metabolism improves, your waistline shrinks a little, and your mind feels clearer when the day begins. In Japan, where people often live the longest, studies show that green tea is part of daily life, especially for older adults. And that's no coincidence. If you haven't tried it yet, maybe start with just 1 cup in the morning. No sugar, no milk, just you and the tea. And when you take that first sip, remind yourself, I'm planting seeds for tomorrow's health in today's quiet moment. Do you enjoy drinking tea? Do you have a little ritual that brings you peace? I'd love to hear about it, because your cup of tea might be the gentle nudge someone else needs to slow down and start again. 6. Cruciferous vegetables. like broccoli, kale, spinach. You know, some foods don't need to be fancy. They don't need exotic flavors or complicated recipes. And yet, they quietly become your body's everyday heroes. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and spinach are some of the best examples of that. I once had someone say to me, "I eat greens because I know they're good." But honestly, I don't really feel anything. But here's the thing. What you can't see is just as important as what you can. Because these vegetables, they're working behind the scenes. They contain something called sulforaphane, a natural compound studied for its cancer-fighting, anti-inflammatory, and liver detoxifying properties. In simple terms, every time you eat a bowl of broccoli, you're helping your body clean up cellular waste, repair DNA, and boost your natural immune defense system. I remember one of my patients, Helen, 76 years old. She had struggled for years with chronic fatigue and a weak immune system. We didn't start with supplements. We started with food. She added a small serving of sautéed spinach or steamed broccoli to her meals every day. 3 months later, her blood work looked better. And she told me something I'll never forget. "I feel like my body's been refreshed from the inside out." Now, cruciferous vegetables won't promise miracles overnight. But day by day, bite by bite, they help you build a strong, quiet defense system. A system that says, "I choose to live long, not by magic, but by consistency." And if you find plain vegetables a little boring, try mixing it up. Steamed broccoli with a squeeze of lemon and olive oil. Crispy roasted kale chips. A spinach salad with your favorite dressing. Simple, but powerful. Do you have a go-to veggie dish that helps you feel strong and healthy? I'd love to hear it. Because sometimes a humble bowl of greens is the beginning of a stronger, gentler aging journey. 7. Tomatoes. Some things in life are so simple, like holding a ripe red tomato in your hand, soft, familiar, almost ordinary. But inside that tomato is something quite extraordinary. A treasure chest of health and longevity. Tomatoes, a fruit most of us have eaten since we were kids, are one of the richest sources of lycopene in the natural world. And lycopene, in case you didn't know, is a powerful antioxidant. It helps protect your cells from damage, lowers the risk of prostate cancer, slows skin aging, and helps preserve your vision as the years go by. I'll never forget something one of my patients, Peter, 75, whispered to me during an exam. "Doc, I eat tomatoes every day because I want to keep seeing the face of the one I love clearly until the very end." That stayed with me. Because tomatoes aren't just food. For many older adults, they're a quiet way of staying connected to life, to health, and to what matters most. Here's something interesting. Your body absorbs lycopene even better when tomatoes are cooked. So go ahead, make a simple tomato soup, stir up a tomato sauce for your pasta, or sauté them with eggs in the morning. Nothing fancy, just full of goodness. And beyond supporting prostate health in men, lycopene also protects the skin from sun damage, keeps your skin elastic, and helps your eyes stay sharp. Things we all care about, especially after 60 or 70. So if you see a bright red tomato on your kitchen counter today, don't overlook it. That's not just a tomato. That's a gentle, natural gift, quietly supporting your health day after day. Do you have a favorite tomato dish? Maybe something tied to childhood or a memory from home? I'd love for you to share it. Because sometimes the simplest foods carry the deepest power and the sweetest stories. 8. Whole grains like oats, brown rice, barley. When we talk about healthy eating, people often imagine strict diets, cutting out everything they love. But in reality, some of the most powerful health choices are the ones that feel warm, familiar, and easy to prepare. Whole grains are a perfect example of that. From oats to brown rice to barley, these simple, humble foods are packed with steady, natural energy, fiber, and B vitamins that help protect both your heart and your blood sugar. I remember one of my patients, Mary, 71 years old, came to see me worried about prediabetes. She loved white bread and white rice, like so many of us do. But when I explained it to her like this, she paused. Refined grains are like burning paper. They burn fast, spike your energy, then crash. But whole grains, they're like slow-burning wood, steady, warm, and lasting. She nodded, and over the next few weeks, she started swapping white rice for brown rice, and sugary breakfast pastries for a warm bowl of oats. 3 months later, her blood sugar had stabilized, and she told me with a smile, "I don't feel those sudden crashes anymore. And strangely, I feel a little happier too." You see, whole grains don't just support your heart or reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. They also help your digestion, lift your mood, and give you steady energy throughout the day, without the spikes and crashes. But most of all, they help you feel like you're in control of your health again. So if you're standing in your kitchen tomorrow morning wondering what to eat, try a bowl of warm oatmeal, a small serving of brown rice, a slice of whole grain toast. It's not just food. It's a quiet promise you make to yourself. I choose to live well, live strong, and live fully, starting with the smallest grains. 9. Extra virgin olive oil. There's something interesting I've learned after years of working with people who live long, vibrant lives. It's not that they avoid fat. They just choose the right kind of fat. And extra virgin olive oil, that golden, glistening oil, is one of the greatest gifts nature has given us for heart health and longevity. I remember visiting an 82-year-old woman in a small Greek village, a place famous for having people who live well into their 90s, even 100s. When I asked her the secret, she didn't give me anything fancy. She just smiled, pointed to a bottle of olive oil on her table, and said, "Every day, in my food, on my bread, and in my heart." Fishy. You see, extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, the kind the heart loves. It helps lower bad cholesterol, supports healthy blood pressure, and, just as important, it fights inflammation and protects your cells from aging. You might not notice it right away, but every drizzle on your salad, every spoonful used in cooking, they're tiny acts of care that help your body move through time a little more gently. In fact, a large study in Spain, tracking tens of thousands of middle-aged and older adults, found that those who regularly used extra virgin olive oil had significantly lower risk of heart disease, and they were more likely to stay mentally sharp as they aged. And the best part? Just 1 to 2 tablespoons a day is enough to make a real difference. You can mix it into your veggies, pour it over warm bread, or simply swap it in where you used to cook with butter or animal fat. No drastic changes, just a small, consistent shift in how you nourish yourself. Do you already use olive oil in your kitchen? If not, today might be a great day to start. Because when you cook with olive oil, you're not just making a meal, you're caring for your future self with kindness and wisdom. And here's the truth. Living longer isn't about waiting until you're sick to fix things. It's about choosing small, right actions every day, in every bite of food, every good night's sleep, every step you take. A handful of nuts in the morning, a warm bowl of beans at lunch, a cup of green tea in the quiet afternoon. Each one is your way of telling yourself, I deserve to live healthy, to live peacefully, and to live long. And if there's one thing I hope you carry with you after today's video, it's this. You're never too old to begin. And it's never too late to return to yourself with love, starting right in your kitchen. If you found these tips helpful, please hit subscribe to join us here at Elderly Life World, where we explore how to live meaningfully and healthfully after 60. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Which food in this video made you want to try it tomorrow? Your story might just inspire someone who's looking for a new beginning. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep exploring the gentle, quiet strength of growing older together.